Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials.
Good morning, it's 6:15 on Saturday the 16th of May. Just making my way down to the land. A bit cool and grey this morning, but forecast is for a bit of sunshine. As always, not quite sure what we're going to get done today, but let's find out. Oh, here we are down on the land. Not a bad morning. A little bit cool and grey, but I do think we'll be getting some sunshine this morning. Everything's looking very nice and green. Has been a bit of a strange week this week for the weather. We've had scorchingly hot days, but then we've had 2 or perhaps 3 mornings where the temperature had dropped significantly overnight, and we had a frost with ice on the car windows when I was getting up to go to work in the morning. I'm expecting to see a bit of damage on the potatoes, I'm afraid, as I come down this morning, but I think everything else should be okay. Certainly everything looks pretty much as I've left it, so I'll get myself in, unlock the cabin, sort my gear out and decide what we're going to get up to today. As always, I'll keep you posted as I go along. Well, first things first, let's have a little check inside the polytunnel, see what's been going on. And clearly quite a bit. There's a lot of greenery. Let's start off over here with the peas. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, we've got 5 now showing through there. Different stages of development. Curiously, still only 2 in this pot. Is that one there or not? Or is that no? It's just wishful thinking on my part. As always, this one's been going crazy, working its way up the mesh. Is now joined by a few little pals in that pot with him. Squash coming on really well now. Not as many as I'd hoped for in the tray, but we've still got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 in there, so that's nice. And the pumpkin, well, what can I say? These need to go somewhere this weekend because they're now definitely outgrowing their pots. Cracking growth by them. Similarly, cucumber, really pleased with those. Like a little row of soldiers sat in that trough or tray. They're equally going to need to be going out somewhere shortly. And then last but not least, we've got the tomatoes. And it's very nice to see that even though it's a late start, we've got quite a few coming fresh out of those little cells. I can't even count how many we've got there. Too many. But we've got some really quite strong tall growth ones, and then clearly we've got those little baby ones just coming through. So excellent. Let's go take a little look. Start with the bad news. Potatoes got hit a couple of times this week. I'm not quite sure how easily they'll recover, or if indeed they will. If anybody is an expert in potatoes out there, perhaps they can tell me. But both those barrels have been hit with the frost, which is disappointing. The first raised bed that I planted out continues to look really well. Everything is strong and healthy, putting on lots of leaves. The second raised bed that went in a week later, not quite sure what's going on here. tall and strong growth, but I've got an awful lot of this yellow leaf. I don't know if you can see that on the video or not. Not quite sure what that's about. Again, if anybody is an expert in broccoli and cauliflower, why have I got these yellow leaves just on that one raised bed? Is it because they went out just at the wrong time when the frosts came, or what is it? Answers on a postcard, please. And then finally, in this last raised bed, I mean, these cauliflower and broccoli and pots went out at the same time as that bed, but don't seem to be as bad. They have got a couple of yellow leaves here and there, but not as bad as that bed. Carrots clearly don't mind at all. They're looking very nice and healthy, putting on quite a bit of growth, so very pleased with those. Anyway, that's the garden looked at. I'm going to get myself in the cabin, sort myself out and decide what I'm going to be doing today, and as always I'll keep you posted with progress. You'll remember I was talking earlier about these squash and pumpkins needing to go out, which they certainly do. They need some space. I'm a little bit worried about frosts, so I'm not sure whether to do it this weekend or next weekend, but I've just popped in a couple of little raised beds here at the back of the original raised beds. So I've just popped those in, just knocked up with a bit of scaffold board. I need to get some more compost to fill these up. That one's clearly empty, the other one's half full. But the idea is, with this patch behind the raised beds, I can plant them into these new smaller raised beds and then just allow them to kind of make their own way across the ground here. If anybody's done this before, pumpkins, butternut squash, do feel free to pass on your expertise to me and others as to whether it's better to let them grow across the ground, as I'm suggesting here, or whether to have them grow up some kind of trellis. It is a bit of a concern on this field, of course, about having trellis up, because as you'll know from previous videos, we do get a lot of big winds coming across here. So I'm not really sure whether I'm doing the right thing or not, but we're going to give it a go. We're going to pop some into these raised beds and see how we get on. I have got somewhere some little rose arch style framework. It might be a bit thin for out here, but I could give it a go and see. The question would of course be where to put it, but that's another story. One thing that I have been wanting to do for quite a while now is to get some composting bins set up. Bit of a dilemma as to where to put it, but I figure this bottom corner, which is behind the cabin, near the this drainage ditch that runs along the boundary here, I was thinking about this corner. There's not much else you can do with this corner. It is kind of out of the way from a aesthetic or a look point of view, so in this corner you're not likely to see them. They won't stand out on the land, but it's convenient. I can run in with my grass cuttings or my leaves or whatever from the field and just run straight in down to this bottom corner. So the more I think about it, the more inclined I am to pop them in this corner. Simple structure made out of some pallets screwed together. At some point pop a lid on just to stop them getting flooded out, but this is where I'm thinking, this corner here. So I might have a little experiment now with some pallets and see how it looks. So here we are down in the bottom corner behind the cabin. I'm just trying to figure out exactly where to pop this composting area. I'm reckoning along this boundary fence line, edge of the wood, leave a bit of space in the corner so I can get in to clear it out, because it does get overgrown in that corner. You can clearly see the embankment behind in the wood there. So I'm just laying out some of these breeze blocks to form a little bit of a foundation, keep the pallets off the floor as much as I can, prolong the life. That's quite a few blocks and indeed quite a few pallets. So yeah, I'm busy trying to work this out. I'll keep you posted with progress as I go along. Well, we're continuing on, a little bit of experimentation here with what will be the composting area. So I've got some weed membrane just laid down. I'm just trying to figure out, because clearly the ground isn't level, so I am trying to level it as I go with these blocks. But if I get that corner in, I just need to figure out how to secure the pallets down. I can screw them to each other, but it's how I actually secure them or anchor them to the ground. So I think I'm going to go for those big long stakes that I used on the cabin build and the polytunnel build. So we'll see how we get on with that. Well, it's 12 o'clock already. Time as usual is whizzing by. I've got it all pretty much erected now. I've got 3 bays, and I've just edged the front with these breeze blocks just to stop the compost falling out the front. Eventually I'll devise some kind of lats or doors going across the entrance to each bay. But for now I just want to get it constructed. The weather's changing quite rapidly. The wind's starting to blow and it's looking like it's threatening with a bit of rain. I'm just whizzing around the outside with this plastic mesh on the sides, and then again the back of the bay. I'm not bothering to do the internal dividing walls, or I'm certainly not at the minute. Got this one back one left to do, and this end side to do, and then I'm going to devise some kind of way of tying the centre bays together. It's a sturdy construction, but I just want something across the top just to tie it all in. I don't really want to put it on this front face here because that will interfere with access, so I'm going to do it across the middle. If it doesn't turn out to be strong enough, then I'll do the front as well, but for now I just want to get cracking and get this finished off. Well, there we go. That's the 3 bay compost bins done. And to be fair, considering it's made of recycled stuff, it's not looking too bad. Hopefully that'll give me a bit of a head start this year, so that next year, instead of having to buy compost, I'll be producing my own. But at some point it'll want some form of roof on it, but for today that'll do me. It's certainly solid enough. It's not going anywhere. Could do with the paint, but I think that's for another day. Well, now I've got the compost bins in, I just couldn't resist, and I've taken the little red tractor round for a test drive. I'm amazed with that. It's not been started for, God, it must be about 5 or 6 months now, and bless it, it started first time. And as you can see, it's not done too bad a job. It's I've just done this little corner just as a test drive, but you can certainly see where I've been. Massive difference. So it looks like tomorrow I'll be seeing how much I can get done of this grass. But that is a real nice job. I'm very pleased with that. Anyway, it's time for me to get packed up. I want to call in to the shop on the way home, see if I can get some compost bags so I can do a bit of repotting tomorrow. There'll be lots more riding on the little red tractor tomorrow for sure, and depending on how the day goes, we might get some other little jobs done as well. But I'm going to get packed up now. Well, that's everything locked up, tidied away. These clouds are gathering now. I think we're going to get a bit of rain. Polytunnel's all shut up. Little wood pile. Difference there with no pallets. Looks empty. Anyway, I'm going to get myself off, see if I can get some compost on the way home, and we'll do it all again tomorrow.
Well, that's it for this video. It's been a bit of a nightmare trying to do the weekend uploads, and I've had 2 days of tech nightmares, but at least it's up now. I hope you found something in there that was of interest to you. If you did like the video, please do click on the like button. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As always, welcome any comments, questions or suggestions you might have. Just leave them in the comments section below. But for now, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.